Black belts. There they are. Let's bow in. Sorry, I miss you guys. So I know everybody's spending all their time at home and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing we need to do is to get the blood pumping. So let's go ahead and we'll just start out with something easy because, you know, I know you guys are working in the kitchen, living room, or basement or whatever, and there's some restricted space. So let's go ahead and start out with some easy jumping jack stuff. All right, so from here, what I'm looking for is 25 4 counts. So that should get your blood pumping a little bit. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 1, 2, 3, 8, 1, 2, 3, good. 1, 2, 3, 10, 1, 2, 3, come on. 1, 2, 3, 12. Touch them up at the top. 1, 2, 14, 1, 2, 3, 15, 1, 2, 3, 16, 1, 2, 3, 17, 1, 2, good. 18, come on. 1, 2, 3, 19, 1, 2, 3, 20, come on. 1, 2, 3, 21, 1, 2, 3, 22, 1, 2, 3, 23, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, nice done. That always gets things started, you know, works well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and line Miss Joanna up with the orange lines right in here.
Say, sir.
Okay. And we're going to do some easy stuff. It's just going to be step up and apply the strike. You guys have done this in class. And so we're going to start out with elbows.
Seriously.
Elbows. Everybody likes elbows. All right. Whether you go right or left, doesn't matter. All right. Blows coming at you. Move around it. Apply elbow. All right. We'll keep on 5.
Hey.
Ready? 1.
1, sir.
Good. 2.
2, sir.
Reset yourselves. 3.
3, sir.
Good. Reset yourself. 4.
4, sir.
Nice. One more and 5.
Yeah.
Nice work. Nice work. Okay. Now we're just going to turn. We're going to turn. So I'm going to bring you around so you're facing toward the mirror side.
Say, sir.
And then at home you turn too. So instead of working out all one direction, just changing direction. That's all. Just to keep it clean up here in the mind. So the friend of the elbow is the knee. And some of you guys just love your knees so much. But we have to put them to work. So it's going to be same. Move off the strike line. Apply your knee. Key on 5. Ready? 1.
1, sir.
Nice. Come on. Ready? 2.
2, sir.
That's it. Come on. Ready? And 3.
3, sir.
Nice job. Ready? And 4.
4, sir.
And last out. Come on. Ready? 5.
Yeah.
Nice work. Nice work. Okay. And we'll just change directions again. Change direction. You head up to the front. Okay. Actually, we turn you to the dressing room. Keep the camera off the glass.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we've done elbows. We've done knees. Headbutts.
Seriously.
Headbutts. Okay. A headbutt. Let's bring you on a headbutt is going to lever from the gut. Okay. Not from the neck. Understand? Headbutt, level from the gut. Headbutt strike with the edge of the skull all the way around. You're not going to headbutt something flat, smash your face, your nose, knock yourself flat by hitting your forehead on something. Not going to smash with your temple, blows to the back of the head, and you're dead. So you don't want to do any of that. All right? And you're not working these out on the bag. We're working them in the air. But I'm looking for that proper form. You're going to bring that headbutt in. Then from the gut, set your neck the way you set a wrist. So your wrist doesn't bend on impact. You set your neck so your neck doesn't bend on impact as well. Okay? All right, let's bring Miss Joanna back up.
Yes, sir.
5. Count them. Headbutts. Ready? 1.
1, sir.
There you go. All right, got to put that move in now. 2.
2, sir.
Nice. Come on, ready? Set yourselves up. Ready? 3. Have fun with it.
3, sir.
Good, good. Think about where you're hitting them. Ready? And 4.
4, sir.
Nice job. Come on, last one. Ready? And 5.
God.
Good work, good work. All right, beautiful. A little bit of knee, elbow, headbutt kind of stuff. You know, we're going to leave the eye gouges and the bites and stuff for later. So let's not do that right now. All right. So instead, to finish out before we stretch, we're just going to go ahead and crank out one form. And the form I want to start with is Kungang. Okay, one that everybody can do. And the only difference is it's not on the count. You're going to crank it out at a reasonable pace. And I want you to have a little bit of fun with it, which was a lot of the feedback that I gave when I looked at the video submissions, is bring out your art a little bit. We're going to go into that in more detail as we move along. All right, but Miss Joanna, then no count. Having some fun with some Kungang at home. Let's make sure that we keep up. So we're reaching Chumbi at pretty much the same time. Once she sets the pace, you should be able to follow right along. Right.
Two, sir. Is it that way? Yes, sir.
That good core turning, the chop snaps right into place. Good centering, look, step, and strike.
Yeah!
Wind up.
Yeah!
And buddies. All right, so nice easy stretch. So let's go ahead and kick it down for the figure four, get things started here.
Two, sir.
All right, now you know we're looking for knee flat, toes up, and guards up. So you take the breath and then reach. And depending, you want to grab high or underneath the ankle. I like to grab underneath the ankle because it helps me to pull that head on down to the knee. Okay, because I don't really like figure fours with your head up like this. All right, this is better, but you really haven't compressed any further down onto the leg. So you really want to pull it on down here, and we'll count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Bring it up and breathe and stretch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nice job. Stretching that home all the way to the knee. Come on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Keep it on the other side.
Two, sir.
Okay, did one, did the other, same details. Again, I like to kind of shovel those fingers underneath there and then pull it on down, get that head down on that knee. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathe and stretch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Come on. Nice job. You count so loud that I can hear you all the way here at RSMA. Come on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nice job. Okay, let's do the abdominal bend.
Yes, sir.
Same thing right in here. And when we bring it up for the breath, what I'll do again, instead of trying to grab the toes right here, if that's what you can do, that's great. Just slide those fingers underneath and then pull it on down and count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nice job. Breathe. And again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's it. Keeping it in shape. And one more. Come on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nice job. All right. Let's go ahead and tuck those legs up underneath.
Yes, sir.
Get a nice strong seiza. There you go. And give yourself about a 10-second makaso. Set that hand. Breathe. And a makaso we make. All right, jump on up.
Yes, sir.
All right, warm and stretchy enough, and I want you to go ahead and make sure you get your splits on your time. I would do 3 long on one side, 3 long on the other side, and then 3 heel splits. If you can do more than that, that would be great. But once you stretch it out the one time, just bring it, reel it back in, stretch it out second time. The legs are a little, muscles a little more exhausted. Should give you a little bit more stretch. Bring that in and do it again. If it takes more than 3 reps to get a difference, then keep pounding away on it. Part of the reason that the splits won't open is that the muscles are just tense. And it's just a matter of mental relaxation more than a body relaxation that allows them to open up more. And what you can do is you can work with yourself by exhausting the muscle, by keeping the pressure on by doing repeated splits. You just pull yourself back up out of it, drop back down, instead of just trying to stay there and see if you'll relax into the split. All right, so rather than do that, stand back up, try it again, give it a few seconds, stand back up, try it again, beat that muscle up, make it tired, and it'll give you more of the split that you're after. Okay? All right, we're gonna go into taking a look at having some fun with your form. Instead of, this is technically correct, even technically excellent, but I'm looking for artists. And so I want you to move once you realize that it is now technically correct and excellent to it's got all of that plus my own spin, my own enjoyment on the form. Okay, and with Joanna, you chose Pyongwon today.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so on the Pyongwon form, we're moving on a straight plane. This doesn't have so much of the forward-backward motion. It's a side to side and then return to center. All right, so let's take a look at the form one time first, and then we'll go back and take a look at a couple things that we can do with it to make it more fun. All right, man. Tip. And a closed chumbi. All right, Pyongwon pattern, the plane. Ready? Hey! 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 Yeah! Hey! 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 Yeah! Hey! 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 Jimmy! Beautiful. Beautiful. For some of you that read the Peanuts, the old Charles Schulz comic strip, and if you ever saw Snoopy do a happy dance, then I've always considered this to be the happy dance form. And so after you spend all of that hard time climbing mountains and working your way along that black belt path, then you get to return to the plains, the true home of mankind. And because you're home, you get to be happy. Right now, we're a little bit stir crazy because we've been overdosing on being home. All right, so then, you know, we're working with that too. But in this case, we're looking at it in terms of leaving that hardship and coming home. It's like a tough day to work. You come home and it's so much nicer. And even sometimes you've been on vacation, having a great time, but there's just something so nice about returning home and saying, oh, man, I'm here. This is my place. And so this form is also celebrating that you have a place that is someplace joyful, that you can be, someplace where you can truly relax and be yourself. Alrighty, so we're going to go through just move by move. You can have whatever fun you want. Okay, so we're starting out with a closed 2B. All right, and for those of you that are going to get into these, and these are going to come along, I like spear points on these chumbis, not butterflies. Okay, so if the end of the hands are splayed this way, then I'm going to pick on it. So I'm going to want a nice spear at the end of these. Okay, all right, so again, you guys know a lot about generating energy, bringing it up from the core. This move is a very slow motion, and as it goes along, it needs to have intensity, it needs to have pinpointing, it has breath, all of those things. But I want you to notice one other thing about it is that even for something as simple as this move, it has a lot of body English in it. You can see those engines that she's got turned on all running. Okay, ready? Hey! Fingertips stay together. It's all on the stance. The slight staggering that she has when she brings that palm strike out, instead of bringing them out together, but to bring up one and then the other, and to have that whole body moving into that, so it just rolls. Is a very satisfying feeling when you do it that way. Okay, down to the exact placement of the way that you want your fingers, whether they're higher, lower, straight ahead to you, spread together. All of those things are things that you can choose when you're doing the posture. Hey! Okay, so you have a couple of knives here, good solid stance, one side then the other, using that look, then step, and then straight type of motion. In this case, then the only step is really the switching of the stance. Hey! All right, so and again, you get to see there's something being done with this other hand as she brings that up. If you know, are one of the guys that are in demo, then you just saw a lot of catching on the blocks. And for those of you that we've been talking about getting that hand back to that hip, and we're talking about this is something that has been actually addressing the incoming blow, capturing it, and then trapping it into place while the other side makes the strike. In this case, it's the elbow strike that brings it up. But again, a lot of energy in there and having some fun with the posture. Ready? Hey! Okay, so in this case, again, nice and smooth. It's been practiced to make it something that's actually complicated as that kick turn back with strikes going in one direction and 180 in the other direction. it's been practiced down to it's very natural. She makes it look simple, all right? But that's because you don't get to see all of the reps that it took to get to there. So if this is something that, you know, perplexes you, being able to do a kick and a turn back right away, then, you know, here's a form that allows you to practice it. It's like anything else, isolate it, okay? So that way it comes out, it's pleasing to watch because it's so effortlessly executed. So if you are looking for it again to express something like that, practice that move down so that way it just pops right into place. It can be your roundhouse, turn around, down block, snap kick, forearm from take it six is a move that has that kind of complexity. It comes out choppy if you don't practice it and make it your own. Ready? Out! Okay, in this case, then again, you see the really pulling that back and then bang, putting that core into that. It's a single strike that's coming in, but it's got the full body behind it. Okay, ready? Out!
Got!
All right, and then also when you guys are coming along, you know that I don't like wishy-washy ki-eyes. I like the ki to step up to the intensity of the move, and the ki also to be timed in the way that the move is being used. But the ki is a move. The ki is part of expression. If you don't like to say ki, please have your own move that, again, is one that you own, that it works for you. Ready? Out! Okay, so now, you know, to where you've seen moves that are done with more intensity that way, then we come with that nice, slow motion, a lot of intensity. It's got a little bit of dynamic tension into it, and the sound of the breath is evenly timed with the execution of the move. Okay, it's level, it's comfortable. She, you know, again, is able to just step right into that, make it look real nice and easy. All right, ready? Out! Again, you see the hands open and close, so you see the catch, you see the pull, the center moving, all of these things. Again, each move is invested from the toes all the way to the top of the head. Ready? Out! Diamond block, your friend and mine. Ready? Out! Okay, so in this case, we're pulling it in. We're getting ready to repeat the other side. You've seen this elbow strike before she came along. Even if you're not responsible for this form, you do know how forms work, and they're balancing from side to side. So we had a particular expression going one way. We don't have to have the same the other way, but you can do that. So again, it's your art. Decide how you want to handle the thing. All right, here we go. Out! Now, once again, a lot of big core work to drive that arm work around. Another effortless kick and turn back combination, lands right into stance with good width, and everything in the upper body is solid. It's all well supported. Remember, you know, pull all of that stuff off. Practice, 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 practice. Okay, again, this form is being done on one straight line, so you don't really have very much variation to wiggle wobble, you know, forward or backward, left or right, barely at all. Okay, ready? Out! So we brought this around again. Toes are straight ahead in that horse. I know for some of you guys, we want to make sure you're double checking that. The horse stance, have the toes ahead in all of those different postures. Ready? Out! Okay, so ki, again, with presence. Not, or I left it out altogether. Let's not do that, okay? Ki is a move. It's just like when you guys are at home and you're not in here, we're wanting you to count, because using that breath is exercising that spirit. Get it out, all right? It gets those lungs working a little bit more. Out! Again, nice, deliberate execution of this move is a very interesting posture. It's just you're stepping into this kind of thing and just taking your time, letting them see it. Out! Hands open, hands closed. There's the catch. Shows you that there's something going on in here. It's got that bunkai style edge to it. Ready? Out! All right, and as always, you can do a posture like this. You think ahead of time before you even pick up your foot. I will be balanced when I arrive in this crane stance. And to wrap her up, out! And when the chumbi at the very end, left foot moves like always. Watch for the spearhead. There's not a butterfly here. Out! You guys doing tape back? Same thing. And down it goes, right back on the dot. And bravo! Okay. All right, so again, with a lot of the video feedback that I gave, I'm looking for some artistic expression. I see a lot of technical excellence. And so what I want you to do is I want you to push that a little bit, even to the point where sometimes you may be asking yourself, am I sacrificing technical excellence for artistic expression? And whether or not that's still controlled and still appropriate for what it is that you're trying to do. But you don't want your form to be nothing but textbook correct, okay? And no matter how you've got the intensity and the accuracy of stance and everything else, that's all great. You're an artist. So I want you to break free and go ahead and have some fun with your forms, all right? So for right now, what I'm gonna have you do is 2 of your favorite forms. Express yourself. For those of you who are in restricted space and you have to do your slide backs or in-place portions, put that stuff in. I was like, you know, I did that because I wanted to do it, not because there was a wall right there so much as you built that in as you were ready to go. Okay, 2 different forms, man. She's gonna do hers, you're gonna do yours, but we should all be arriving at 2 being around at the same time. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, have some fun with it.
Yes, sir.
All right, what do you think, Mr. Ben? Are you catching up there? Are they already done? Almost there. Well done, black belts. Well done. We got a little kungang still happening. That's it. You can feel it. Beautiful. All right, and then, you know, give yourself a hand. Around here, we can quarter page each other. When we are locked down in our homes, we have to quarter page ourselves. So, you know, make sure that you take your time out to do that when there's nobody else to do it, because you know you're doing the right thing. And it's tough. All right, but as you're working through your forms, I want you to submit on your homework your highest form, the highest one that you know. I want a technical excellence, and I want artistic expression. I want you to bring those 2 things together. We're not, you know, talking about what is in fact right or wrong. It's how is it that you totally own this form, and when you get out there, it's going to stop people in their tracks. It's not going to be like, textbook tape, yes, you know, 100 of them. Instead, it's going to be like, whoa, I've never seen it like that, and I'm inspired by that. And after they see your form, your form, they're going to write poems and stuff after that. They're going to be so inspired. All right, so think about it a little bit, maybe a little bit before you actually do it, or do several videos of yourself and then choose the one that you think is actually the best instead of just doing one try. Okay, so something like that. All right, now we're going to go on and we're going to take a look one more time at some of these entries. All right, so you did the Kodageist entries, so let's just take a quick review of them. The Kodageist 1 entry, and we're going to come back over to the orange lines over here, so that way the line that is on the north-south plane that she's standing on right here, that represents the incoming blow, whether it's kick, punch, push, grab attempt, whatever it is. Okay, so on your Kodageist 1, let's go ahead and when you make your first step, just go ahead right there. All right, so she's moving off. She made the attachment. She's got the feet ready so that way she can go ahead and launch this kick quickly. But again, there's a nice step over here to move her body off of that punch line. Okay, so let's just go ahead and reset and do the whole thing. Pop that atemi in, show them just where I want. Hey. Okay, no delay on the atemi. One more time.
Hey.
Boom. Okay, on the Kotegaeshi 2, it's the same thing. So you're standing on the punch line. She steps off of it, makes the connection, and she's already set that footwork up to throw that kick immediately. So it's not step, step kick. It's step, boom, and they already have received the attack. Ready? Hey. Pow! Right there. Okay, I want you to just strike just like that. Okay, you stepped over the wrong log, snake bite. Ready? Hey! Boom! It's done. Okay, one more time. Hey! You set yours up like that. Okay, on the onikidaki, same thing, because you moved around the incoming blow in order to get a bite on that bicep when you came in with that punch to get the catch going. All right, everybody did a great job on the onikidaki. So once again, I always say, you know, hands are smarter than feet. And you guys, though, have got some lightning fast feet. So as soon as you just think about making that adjustment, that kick atemi is going to be there on plate, on time. Okay, so let's take a look at the onikidaki. Ready? Hey! Once again, when she first moves, her body is on the line. All right? So when she steps in, she moves her body off of the punch line, but she's right up against the opponent, right there. So you're not reaching out to get this thing. These jiu-jitsu catches and ties are tight. That's boa constrictor tight. And so you can't be standing, you know, far back away from the person when you execute this blow. So again, if you look at the orange and you look at the punch line, she's moving herself out of there. You know, the foot's out there, but it's not in peril. And this rascal is already penetrated through the target at this point. Okay, so just one more time on the onikidaki.
Right.
Okay, so you know you've got those three. So we're just going to move up the chain now and add on the entry to the Gansaki. Right now, we have 5 variations of Gansaki, and they all enter the same. And so the initial move that you're making when the attack comes at you is not going to change. All right. Now, because I'm interested in getting a hand underneath their arm off of the atemi, I would have that hand ready to go. So as you're stepping in and making your shot, bang, your hands are probably going to be a little bit more out, because as you're stepping down, you're going to be reaching this one up and pulling their arm down. You have that nice two-way action going there. So you're going to need to think to yourself, I am shooting that hand underneath of that arm in order to get that. So let's just turn this way. Okay. So when I punch and she comes in, she kicks, which will make that arm bounce, and then underneath is the catch. So this arm coming underneath of here needs to be there, even though you don't have an opponent to work on. All right. And then again, she pull this down and she lifts this up in order to start to create the off-balancing pitch to make this throw happen. All right. So I'm just interested in the entry. All right. So one more time, she's coming straight in. She's off of the kick or punch line, the attack line, throws that kick and gets that arm out so that it's underneath it there. And that's really where I need your entry to stop, because at this point, you're getting ready to do the catch. All right, so let's just do 3 of them on the Gansaki.
Hey.
Ready? 1.
1, sir.
Reset. 2.
2, sir.
Good. And reset. 3.
Good.
Okay. So, you know, again, for you guys that are doing left and right expressions, if you want to go the other way, then you've got that same kind of thing. So then you can enter in, pow, and you're shooting the other side, so that you're practicing a left and a right expression of this thing. You guys that are working on that first degree, going to second level, you don't have to do both sides. That's fine, but you're in a position now where you have an opportunity to train yourself at a little bit more advanced level. So add those lefts in, and if you've got the mind to do that. Okay? All right. So then when we've got those, we've done the Kotegaeshis, you've done the onikidaki, you've done the Gansaki. So even though there's variations on the onikidaki and variations on the Gansaki, the entry will stay the same. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at the Shadaree entry.
Okay.
All right. The Shadaree entry is going to involve getting that pie up in that face and getting that hand up there. So when I come in, again, a blow is coming right at me, and I need to get off of that line. And when I'm doing that, I'm going to get that hand right up in that face, going to control that vision. When you shoot this, into this person's face as palm comes up. Okay, again, butt of the palm. So you keep the fingers back a little bit. That way you're not going to get them, caught into anything that you don't want. You're bringing this up more to attack the eye than the chin. They'll move their own head back, all right, and put themselves in that position. Alrighty, so when we're taking a look at this entry then, we got a couple of things that we need. One is off the punch line. She's going to go ahead and make her connection and bring this pie in the face up. So then that becomes your form of atemi. All right, even if you didn't hit them. Control the vision, capture what they're thinking. They're not thinking about it when you're wrapping this up to proceed with the rest of the technique. This is as far as we need to get though. So let's take a look at the entry.
Hey.
Ready? Hey.
One, sir.
This comes right in. Ready? Hey.
Two, sir.
Good. And last one. Ready? Hey.
Got it.
Nice work. All right, so you can see the difference. Go back and do a Kotegeist 1 entry.
Two, sir.
Kotegeist 1 entry. All right, so hand position just a little bit different. So we're thinking different things about the way that we come in on this. So even though the advancing and the angling are very similar, what you're doing with your handwork and what you're thinking about where you're going to progress next, that's all in place, all ready to go. Okay?
Hey.
All right, so then now we've got a couple of more. We got the Gansaki and we got the Shadaree. On the Sodaree, the thing that you're doing with the Sodaree in this case a lot of times is you're starting at the tie. All right, and if I started the tie up, then all I got to do is to bump this up and to trap it against the neck. So I've got a two-way action between my arm and my spine, all right, in order to set this up. The other way to look at this is to catch this thing off a punch, all right? So if I'm coming in and the punch is coming around, and she's able to draw that technique the same way, okay? So if I'm looking at the entry on a punch, as she comes in, then I can just bring it straight on up and bring that elbow up, okay? So one more time. She's coming in. If I bring this up, boom, that gives you something to think about, all right? And the other one just happened to sneak on up over here. It's like, oh, I don't want to see me yet, but there it is, okay? So I'm doing an alignment. I allow her to punch. I line it up. I get that elbow up there, so she's like, I don't know if I want to throw that other punch. It might work out not in my favor. And then the other hand has snuck up to pop that up against that neck in order for you to get your technique on, okay? So if I'm doing this kind of an entry, then as the punch is coming in, I can just bring that elbow right on up and have that other hand ready to go because I know this is where I'm going to end up, all righty? So think about the punch comes in, I'm stepping off of it, and just lining right up, get that elbow right up in that person's face. So if I'm throwing a punch at you, as this thing is coming in, that right there is a lot to think about, all right? So before you're just like, how do I have got her? You'd be thinking, got her, she's going to stick the point of her elbow right into my throat if I do that, all right? If you're a little bit shorter or that kind of thing, an elbow to the face, always a bad day, okay? But again, now this hand is ready to sneak on up. And there's the trap against the spine on the neck. And now she can roll that over, get this nice heaven to earth posture. This is a bad position for her partner to be in. Okay? So let's just do the entries. We're just coming right in, getting that elbow up. The other hand sneaks up. That's as far as we need to go. All right, for the Sodaree, ready? What?
One, sir.
Reset. Ready? Two.
Two, sir.
And last O. Ready? Three.
Good.
Okay? So let's just do a quick review. All right, we're going to go nice and slow, even though I've been barking at everybody about getting their atemis in right away. Even though she's moving slowly, the timing on the atemi will be consistent. If everything else was moving that slowly, this atemi would be right there on time where we wanted it. All right, so let's take a look at the Kotegeist 1. Reset.
Sir.
Kotegeist 2. Good job. Reset. Onakadaki. There's the punch. And again, y'all did a great job on this. Gansaki. There it is. See, the hand shoots up underneath of the arm. Shadaree. Pie in the face. And reaching up as you're getting ready to catch that elbow. Okay? And Sodaree off the punch. Sodaree off the punch brings the elbow up. And again, lefty, those of you guys that are doing the expression on this side, is sneaking up so that way the whole thing can get rolled down into that pile driver position, heaven to earth. Okay? All right, so I'll definitely want you to show me all of those entries. All right, now, the ambitious part of the homework is to put them into a block form pattern. All right, and you guys can use the pattern for basic form. If you don't know blocking form, which is essentially the same pattern, variations on the counts by just a little bit. All right, so an example of this would be is if you're in a chumbi position and you decide, well, I'm going to do my Kodagai 1 when I make my first move. I've decided, since I'm using a basic form pattern, that it's going to be turning left in order to start things out. So I'm in position, the first attack is coming from this side, so I'm going to have to orient myself to that side, move off the punch line, put it in there, get that atemi done. Okay? So I'm going to be heading this way, and I'm going to do the same expression on the other side. So if you're doing this one, you're saying, I'm going to do my Kodagai 1, I'm going to come around, step out, bang, there's the first one. Oh, I got this one over here on this side too. All right, so I got to bring that one around, bang, so you can go ahead and set that up. You decide, well, you know, from this posture, I'm going to go this way because that's what makes more sense to me. So as I'm bringing around, in basic form will be a down block, right? So instead, apparently it's, oh, a Kadaki, so I'm coming this way. Now, if I want to keep going on this side, I can step right in, pull with my Gansaki. And if I want to make a third progression coming forward, just like basic form, then I'll just go ahead and add on Shadaree, get that hand up. As I'm coming around now to do the Sodaree, then I can certainly bring that around, catch it, and bring this up. So I'm ready to go. And I can do the Sodaree on the other side if I wanted to. And just come back around and do it with the opposite hand. And this one can come up, and that would be the sneaker in order to bring that around. So I ran out of entry moves. So all I got to do when I'm on my way back is to restart and run that one. Okay? And then I can run this one. And so I'm coming in. There's the Onikadak to get me to the Kiai point. Kiai! All right, when I come back around, I'm on this side again. There's my Gansaki on this one. I might go, uh-oh, when I come around this side, I want to do the Shadaree. Okay? And then when I finish up, I'll just go, one more Sodaree was left to bring me back to Chumbi. And you guys can have whatever fun you want with that. And let me see you mix all those wonderful entries together into a pattern. Have a little bit of fun with it. If you guys are good at doing left and right, you can do that. If you're only good at it on one side, just do the one side. You don't have to, as you're moving around the room, think, okay, this guy's a lefty, this guy's a righty. Instead, just go ahead and do those right side expressions, no matter which way you turn. Okay? Here's a guy on all sides of you. They're all right-handers. No problem. Same technique. I just got to orient myself toward the attack, to the new attack, to the new attack, wherever it's coming from. All right? So let's take a look then at what you guys can put together on additional entries. And I'm also very interested in what you're going to do with an artistic expression of your highest level form. All right? Oh, and splits, splits, and splits. Okay, any questions? No questions. Okay. All right, and I will be watching out for that homework. I'll get you your feedback in next Monday. We're going to go be moving forward. We're going to continue to have a whole bunch of fun. Miss Joanna worked real hard, so give her a hand. And once again, we really miss you guys. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for teaching me.